Juan, what's going on, bro? Hope you had a good summer. Jason Dumas, Crown 4.
Well, Jason.
After your year last year, obviously it was crazy, and then you've had kind of a summer to take it all in. Has life changed at all for you? Are you still the same guy from, 95th here in Oakland? How's life changed? Because I know it's been a lot over the last year.
As much as I would like to say that I'm still the same guy, I'm not. Obviously, you have to change. You have to grow, and you have to adjust to, what life throws at you. Obviously, as all you guys can imagine, there's just a lot more that comes with being in the NBA, but also, being from my hometown. There's a lot, but it is what it is, and I'm appreciative of it. I'm appreciative of the opportunity I have. As far as my approach to my craft and my job, no, I have not changed. I still want more. I want to win a championship. I want to try to be on an all-defensive team, those things. So I'm still going as hard as I can, not comfortable at all. Still feel like my back is against the wall. But still Juan from 95th. Still happy to be here. But it's a different approach now. Last year I was just like, wow. Now it's like I deserve to be here because I earned this, but I still am happy nonetheless.
The way they rebuilt the roster this summer, they sound pretty committed to playing smaller more often, and kind of the style that worked so well to end last season. What is it about that style you think that did work so well in the last 20 games or so?
I think it's more dynamic. A lot of people look at it on paper and say that they are small. And, okay, yeah, we are a little smaller than some teams with traditional centers and things as such. But when you got a guy like Draymond being the anchor for your defense, I don't really think it matters, to be honest. And I would consider myself a decent defensive player. So I'm confident in, us being on the floor together. Now you throw Andre in there. You throw Wiggs in there. Like, come on, man. That's a hell of a defensive team right there. And I just think it's all about your approach and your effort, your attitude. You're not going to get rebounds because you're taller than somebody. 50-50 balls don't just land in your hands. You go get them. And that's the mentality that we have. And so I don't think any of us are too worried about, the height differential. I think it's an approach to the game. It's everybody being on a string, being on the same page. And like I said, it's more dynamic. Dre trusts me to switch in a pick and roll. We played the Memphis Grizzlies. I'm guarding John Morant, but I'm switching on to Vucevic. And Dre's guarding John Morant. And so when you have that type of versatility, man, like I said, you throw Andre in there, Wiggs in there. Some of these guys, Jonathan is a hell of a defensive player. Moses, I think we got some pieces to do some damage defensively.
You mentioned Andre a couple times. What has it been like the first, several weeks? I know he's been around, just learning from him.
I'm a sponge, man. I'm always listening to my OGs, anybody that can lace me with some game. And he is a very successful man on and off the court. So he's done everything that I want to do from, everything. He's got championships. He's got all-stars. All that stuff, finals MVP, very successful off the court as a black man, and so I admire all of that about him, and I'm always listening to him, and I'm super excited to be able to spend more time with him.
When you got two kids now with Jonathan and Moses, what kind of advice do you give them, and in what ways do you want to set an example for those guys, because they're coming into the league different from the way you came into the league?
Yeah. One thing I always tell them is to enjoy the moment. I couldn't imagine being 18 or 19 and coming into this league. That's impressive, man. These are kids still, right? But we don't look at them as such because they're playing amongst grown men and they look like grown men, but mentally they still growing up. And so I try to give them life lessons as opposed to basketball lessons. I'm understanding of dynamics. I'm a guy who came in here at the age of 27 on minimum. I'm not saying that they look at it this way, but, I'm at the bottom of the totem pole from a basketball standpoint in my locker room, right, when you're looking at it on paper. They don't look at me as such, but I'm also aware and understanding of dynamics. So I stay away from the basketball stuff when I'm talking to them. I want to be your friend. I want to be somebody that If you got some issue, if ever, and you need to call me or need some advice, you can call me. My phone line's always open, or whatever the case may be. So just stuff like that. Enjoy the moment. Don't ever let up. Keep approaching your craft, because, like, I had a conversation with Moody, and I told him, I said, man, you my teammate, but I got to compete with you every day. There's going to be a 27 or a 26-year-old coming from wherever he played at trying to get into the league, and he going to look at you like, man, this is the 14th pick. I need to take his spot. I'm going at him every day. And so I just tell them, don't forget stuff like that, because if you was on this team last year, I would have came in here every day trying to take your head off, and I would have attacked you every day and tried to eat you alive. That's just me being honest with you, because I'm your teammate. But, just approach it like it's your last day, because you never know when your last day is. And appreciate it. It's fun. It's supposed to be fun. You work so hard to get to this point. You sacrifice so much. You got to enjoy this stuff. I think it's perspective. I think it's easy. It's human nature to get comfortable. So if you got a bunch of guys in the locker room who, lottery picks, first rounders, blue chips at Kentucky, Duke, whatever, it's a different approach. You don't have guys like Draymond, who got drafted in the second round and felt like he needed to prove himself every night and night in and night out, and that brings that intensity, right? You don't have guys like myself who just play so hard because I'm so appreciative for this opportunity that I don't ever want to let this opportunity go. So I just think it's a different spice to the mix. It brings a different perspective. It brings a different dynamic to the team, and I think some mix is good. I think that's what it is.
Juan, the playing games last year, how much did that help you as far as just seeing what that next level of competition looked like? What was that difference like from the regular season into the play-in? And then how long was that summer, man? Because you guys obviously came so close to getting into the postseason.
The playing game was really fun. Obviously, it was my first year in the league. It was a playoff game pretty much, really exciting. And I live for stuff like that. This is what I play this game for, to lace them up against the best, to play for all the marbles. And to compete. Sucks that we didn't get past that little hump, but whatever, it is what it is. In regards to the summer, it was a great summer for me. This was my first summer since a long time. Wow. That I didn't have to think about what I was doing next or where I was going to be. And that's stressful, man, when you waiting on a call from your agent to pack your bag, pack 2 suitcases to go somewhere for 8 to 10 months. And you don't know where you're going to be. You really don't know what you're getting yourself into, a city you've never been to probably. That's really stressful. Leaving your family behind, going to a whole different time zone. But it's fun, though. It's stressful, but it's fun. So this is my first summer where I could really just focus on myself, getting better, focus on my body. Did some things to change my body, added 10 pounds. Really focused on my craft, really got to spend time with my family. And just really relaxed every day. And it was just like a different approach when I woke up every day, because I wasn't worried about a phone call from my agent thinking about, damn, I got to go across the world to go play basketball. So, and we didn't have no injuries to end the season last year. So I think it was a good summer for us.
You mentioned the weight gain there. Can you tell us a little bit about how you were able to put on that weight and what you saw last year maybe that made you say, hey, this will help my game?
I was in the weight room every single day. I've been here for pretty much the whole summer. Took a few windows where I went to go visit Mexico. Eating right, all those things, the nutrition. Shout out to our whole team. I mean, we have a hell of a staff here. I've been trying my whole life to put on weight, and I never could. I mean, I have such a fast metabolism, and I'm lucky to have this type of body. But it was hard, but they helped me, and they were on me every day, and we did it together. It's a long season. You got to be durable. Obviously, like, I'm a rugged player. I don't run from contact. I like to guard, like to bang. So I want to be able to guard, bigger guys without question. Big thing for me last year was to gain Steve's trust. Now I want to gain everybody's trust in this organization to know that, Juan can guard anybody 1 through 5. It doesn't matter if it's Vucevic, don't matter if it's Ja Morant, don't matter if it's Kawhi Leonard. We can put him there to match up. And so I want to continue to add value to myself for this team. Where can my coach put me in the game? Where is he comfortable allowing me to play in certain situations and so forth? And so that was a big part of it.
You guys knew all last year, like, Klay wasn't going to come back. What is the difference now knowing, he's coming at some point and, an ability to potentially compete for a title is coming at some point?
For myself, I look at it like, he's coming back, but he's not back yet, so we can't necessarily from a mental standpoint depend on that. Like, we still have to start game one and win game one. Every game matters to set yourself up to get into the playoffs, right? So from that standpoint, like, we still got to lace him up and play without Klay for some time. But when he does get back, I think that's a scary sight for a lot of people. I mean, playing with Steph was hella fun. Like, I got so many open looks playing with him. I can only imagine having the two of those type of guys, Klay on the other side. Like, I think it's going to make the game so much easier, not only for myself, but for everybody. I mean, you got to be ready to make reads. And so I'm excited. Klay's a hell of a player on both sides of the ball. I love to play defense. So, talk about myself, Draymond, Andre Wiggs, throw Klay in that mix. He's a hell of a defender, and I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves for defending the other team's best players when he was healthy and playing. I think he was I think he was a large part of the Warriors' success in those finals runs, because you got to get stops to win games. So I look at it from those different perspectives. Like, I look at different lineups we can use when he's out there and all that stuff. I'm excited. Klay's a good dude, man. I'm very happy that he's progressing well. And I always think, like, having those type of injuries ain't easy, first of all, from a physical standpoint, but from a mental standpoint, like, that's crazy, right? So I have a lot of respect for him for just being mentally sound every day, like being mentally stable every day, because that's hard. I always put myself in someone else's shoes. I'm like, damn, I don't know what I would do if I, have a knee issue and then Achilles issue. Like, that's heavy on somebody. So shout out to Klay, man. Klay is that dude.
Well, you mentioned it, and we've talked about being able to play with Steph, and some guys can do it, and some guys maybe struggle. You've always been able to play with Steph. It's gone very well, clearly, in that 15-5 run. I don't know if secret's the right word, but what is the secret? What is the way you have to think when you're playing on the same floor as Steph Curry?
For me, there is no secret. I just look at every situation or everything that I'm in from a logical standpoint, and what is the logic in that? What do we want to do? Our priority is to get Steph a shot. That's the best shot on the floor. I don't care who's on the floor. Steph Curry is the best shooter in the NBA. To me, he's the best player in the NBA, so getting a shot from Steph Curry is the best shot from a logical standpoint. And now, what is the second best shot? What's the third best shot? So I'm always looking for that guy to make plays and don't turn the ball over. Make reads, be ready to make reads. Can you pass the ball? I think I'm a pretty good passer. Do I know how to read the defense, how they're playing me, where they're playing me? Are they a step behind? And that comes with experience also. I haven't been in the NBA very long, but I've played a lot of basketball year-round for 5 years, all over the world. Spanish coaches, Venezuelan coaches, American coaches, a lot of different styles of basketball. And I think that I've really benefited from that, being able to make reads and understand the game.